Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling quite a story. It's this blend of horror, high theology.
It really is. We're diving into Lestat, the vampire's confrontation with someone claiming to be, well, the devil himself, but not quite the devil you might expect.
Right. Our mission here is to unpack this whole encounter. We want to look closely at this entity's philosophy, particularly his argument for why humans suffer.
And the fallout for the mortal world, which is just astonishing.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We've got Lestat in modern New York. He's powerful, the usual 6-foot, blonde, Anglo-Saxon vampire.
But he's paralyzed, absolutely terrified. He feels hunted, stalked by something immense, something he thinks is the devil coming for him.
Yeah, usually he's the predator, but now he's the prey. And this hits him right after he kills someone.
A very specific someone, a man named Roger, a brilliant criminal apparently, drug dealer, but also a serious art collector.
And the twist is, Roger's main obsession wasn't his criminal empire, it was his daughter, Dora.
A televangelist, one who mixes theology and ecstasy, as the source material describes it. Very compelling figure.
It's that mix again, isn't it? Roger, the sinner, hoarding sacred relics alongside these scandalous medieval books, Winkin de Wilde.
Yes, those texts are important. They argued for the body, for physical love as sacred, things Roger seemed drawn to despite his other activities. But Lestat's focus quickly shifts from Roger to what's hunting him.
And how does Lestat describe this stalker? It's not just horns and a pitchfork.
No, not at all. He talks about overwhelming light, this unbearable noise, a terrifying appearance, sure, but crucially, no sense of evil in the traditional way.
No, evil from the devil. What does he sense then?
He senses sincerity and purpose. That's the phrase used. Like, this being has a sleepless mind in his heart and an insatiable personality. It's an intensity, a drive, not simple malice.
Wow. Okay. Sincerity and purpose. That's unsettling. And then things get even weirder.
Right after Lestat kills Roger, Roger's ghost appears. And it's not just a shimmer. It's palpable, demanding.
Demanding what? Revenge.
No, that's what's so strange. Roger's ghost wants Lestat, the vampire who just killed him, to help his daughter Dora.
Help her how?
He wants Lestat to fake some spectacle, a miracle, basically, to boost Dora's mission, protect her reputation, and maybe legitimize Roger's own collection of relics, some of which are seen as tainted.
Wait. A ghost wants the vampire murderer to stage a miracle for his televangelist daughter.
It's completely bizarre, but before Lestat can even process that, the being stalking him finally reveals itself
As
Memnoch, the devil, but he claims he's one of the archangels.
an archangel. Not just a fallen angel, but one of the originals.
That's his claim. And he says he's come for Lestat, yes, but not to drag him to hell. He wants Lestat as his lieutenant, his assistant.
His lieutenant, not his prisoner.
Exactly. And another key point, Memnoch tells Lestat point blank that Roger's ghost. That wasn't his doing, it was separate.
Okay, that's important. It means Memnoch is playing a much bigger game than just messing with individual ghosts.
Precisely. It pushes the whole thing onto a cosmic philosophical level. If he's an archangel, what's his beef with God? Why is he the adversary?
So does he explain?
He does. He gives Lestat this incredible history lesson, says he was a watcher, an archangel present with God during the creation of the universe, of time itself.
Watching it all unfold.
Yes, and he recounts these 13 revelations of evolution, these moments in creation that deeply troubled the angels.
Troubled them how? Like the Big Bang was noisy?
No, it was more existential, the shift from inorganic matter to organic molecules, the slow development of creatures with faces which seemed like crude mockeries of the angels.
Imperfect reflections. Messy, mortal.
Constantly decaying, suffering. And then came the real shocker for the angels, according to Memnoch.
Which was?
Warm-blooded birds with feathered wings.
Birds. My birds.
Because the angels, beings of light, also conceived of themselves with wings, feathers. Seeing these fragile, mortal creatures with similar forms, it felt like a violation, an insult. They were apparently horrified and outraged.
That vulnerability, that imperfection, mirrored in something like themselves. That bothered them.
Deeply. And this leads to Memnoch's core argument. His dispute with God wasn't about power or pride, he claims.
What was it about then?
Compassion? Or maybe misplaced empathy. He accused God of creating matter because God longed for it, but without fully grasping or perhaps attending to the suffering inherent in it.
So God made the universe, but wasn't watching the consequences closely enough. The pain, the decay.
That was Memnoch's accusation, that God wasn't paying attention to the suffering. This earned him the name Satan. In Hebrew, it just means the accuser.
So he's the accuser, not because he's inherently evil, but because he called God out on the problem of suffering. That flips the script entirely.
It really does. And Memnoch says this accusation is why he was cast out, not for trying to usurp the throne.
And what did he do after being cast out? Just sulk.
No, he claims he needed to understand suffering, truly understand it, so he did something drastic. He created a perfect human body for himself. He saw it as a penance, a way to experience physical sensation directly. Pain, pleasure, the whole messy reality.
He became human temporarily to get it.
But the final straw, the act that got him definitively booted from heaven, was when he had sex with a mortal woman, Lilia.
Crossing that line between the angelic and the physical.
God apparently saw it as a fundamental betrayal of his angelic nature. The gates were shut.
Okay, so if he's cast out, what about hell? Is it fire, brimstone, eternal torture like we always hear?
Not according to Memnoch. This is absolutely crucial. He calls his domain Sheol, the Hebrew word for gloom, and he insists it is not a place of punishment and eternal damnation.
No fire. Then what is it?
He describes it as layers, tiers of chaos and deep confusion. It's filled with souls, individual souls who still have their memories, their emotions.
But they're still themselves, not just tormented shades.
Exactly. They retain their identity. And Sheol isn't for punishment, it's for understanding or reckoning. His goal, he says, is reformation. He wants the souls there to confront their lives, their mistakes, the suffering they caused and experienced, to understand it fully so they can eventually find peace.
So hell is like a cosmic therapy session for the devil.
In a very intense, chaotic way, maybe. And get this. He says the souls are strengthened by the love of the living. Their connection to earth sustains them.
Wow. That changes everything. It's not good versus evil. It's a dispute over how to handle suffering and ignorance.
A deeply complicated one, which sets up the ultimate confrontation.
Right, because God doesn't just let Memnoch's argument stand.
No. God incarnate Christ appears to challenge Memnoch directly. Christ claims his upcoming death, his suffering will give meaning to all suffering. It will redeem it.
And how does he prove this? He doesn't just debate Memnoch, does he?
No. He makes it experiential. He forces Lestat, the vampire, to witness the Passion in Jerusalem firsthand.
Forces him. So Lestat is dragged into the middle of the Crucifixion.
Plunged right into it. The crowds, the noise, the smell, the brutality. He has to watch, to feel the horror of the march to Calvary.
That's intense. But then something even more direct happens.
Yeah.
Something involving Christ and Lestat personally.
Yes. During that agonizing walk, Christ does something utterly shocking. He compels Lestat to drink his blood.
Lestat drinks the blood of Christ. The vampire feeds on the divine.
Directly. It's this overwhelming fusion of the profane and the sacred. And in return for this communion, Christ gives Lestat something.
What?
Veronica's veil. The cloth, the mandilion, supposedly used to wipe Christ's face, now bearing the imprint of the face of God. Christ tells him, take it, keep it, hide it, take it with you.
He gives this ultimate relic to a vampire.
To Lestat. But before Lestat can even begin to process having the blood of God inside him and the face of God in his hands, Memnoch acts.
What does he do?
He throws Lestat into Sheol, into his version of hell.
And what's it like? Is it the chaos Memnoch described?
It is. But it's not the chaos that breaks Lestat, or even the suffering. It's the sound, the overwhelming collective cry of all the souls there.
What are they crying?
We did not know. Over and over, we did not know.
They didn't know the consequences. They didn't understand.
Exactly. It's the sound of ignorance, of confusion, of lives lived without full awareness. It's the ultimate validation, in a way, of Memnoch's accusation against God. But the sheer weight of that sorrow, that mass confusion, devastates Lestat.
And this is where he finally snaps.
Yes. Having seen God, tasted his blood, and now hearing this abyss of unknowing, Lestat finds his fury. Memnoch formally offers him the position, lieutenant in Sheol.
And Lestat says,
He screams, I will not be part of this. He refuses the job, utterly rejects Memnoch's entire system.
How does Memnoch take that?
Not well. He attacks Lestat in a rage, rips out his left eye.
Whoa.
But Lestat manages to escape. He claws his way back to Earth somehow, still clutching the veil.
So he returns, damaged, traumatized, half-blind, but with this incredibly holy relic. Where does he end up?
Back in New York, he finds Dora, her mentor David, and the vampire Armand. He's a wreck, covered in grime from, well, hell and ancient battlefields.
And Dora, the televangelist daughter of Roger.
She reads his mind instantly, sees the confirmation of her father's death, sees the journey he's been on, And then she sees the veil.
The face of God on cloth. What does she do?
She recognizes it immediately for what it is, or what it appears to be,
Mm-hmm.
a miracle. And she doesn't question it, she uses it.
Uses it how?
She takes that relic and makes it the centerpiece of a massive religious revival right there at St. Patrick's Cathedral. It ignites something globally.
A worldwide spiritual awakening, sparked by a relic delivered by a half-blind vampire who just got back from hell.
You got it. And here's the kicker. Remember Roger's tainted inheritance. The relics, the art, and especially those Winkin de Wild books.
The ones celebrating the physical, the body.
Yes. Those become foundational texts for Dora's burgeoning church. Her movement incorporates these ideas, blending traditional faith with this, emphasis on the physical, the experiential, which Roger, her father, loved.
That's a staggering irony. His legacy is laundered through a miracle brought by his killer.
Exactly. And Lestat, having delivered the veil, his part seemingly done.
What happens to him?
David and Armand find him still delirious, still a mess. They realize he's unstable, dangerous perhaps. So for his own safety, they chain him up.
They chain Lestat.
Yeah. And while they're securing everything, Lestat's belongings, Roger's remaining relics that Lestat had, they find one last item, a note.
A note? From who?
It's placed carefully among the items. It reads, "To my prince, my thanks to you for a job perfectly done. With love, Memnoch the Devil."
Oh, come on. A thank you note from the devil.
Signed with love, after tearing his eye out.
So Lestat is left chained up, dictating this whole insane story, with Christ's blood maybe still echoing in his veins, Veronica's veil sparking a global revival.
And a polite thank you note from Memnoch suggesting the whole thing went according to his plan.
Which leaves us completely adrift. Was Lestat played? Was he a hero? A fool? Just a pawn in some cosmic game between God and Memnoch?
That's the ambiguity the source material leaves us with. It forces you to question everything. Was the miracle truly from God? Or was it facilitated, maybe even engineered, by Memnoch?
Especially with that note, and the fact that Dora's church ends up using those Winkin de Wild books, texts that basically argue Memnoch's point about the importance and sanctity of the physical, suffering included.
Precisely. It suggests Memnoch's goal wasn't simple damnation. Maybe it was to subtly shift theology itself, to force the world to grapple with suffering and the physical in a way that aligns uncomfortably with his own complex, accursed perspective.
So the provocative thought for you, listening, is this. If the devil's work isn't just about torment, but about ensuring suffering is seen, acknowledged, maybe even integrated, what does that imply about the nature of faith, miracles, and the forces shaping our understanding of the divine?
It suggests the lines might be far blurrier and the arguments far more profound than we usually imagine. Something to think about.